Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I hope everybody is having a blessed and wonderful day. First off, as always, welcome to my latest subscribers. I welcome you to this channel. This channel is to glorify God while being real and transparent before you all. Thank you guys for watching my latest videos. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the shares. I thank you guys so much. This is about a kingdom movement now. This is truly about a kingdom movement. This is about glorifying God at all times with our lives and the choices and decisions in which we make. Even though I know you guys, it gets hard. It seems hard. Sometimes you want to give up, but don't give up, because you are going to reap a great reward when you don't. This is specifically by request, excuse me, from Sister Cherie. I hope that's how I'm saying your name, sister. She asked me in a comment, she said that she was looking at my restoration video and she was encouraged by it. And she asked me to speak on my journey as far as my husband being drawn to repentance and restoration. So I wanted to do that. I know it's been a long time, you guys, since I've really, talked about my journey, and you guys, it's been a long one. I'm not gonna lie. It's been since 2018 starting off, but really being in my husband's life in 2019. So let's just say 2019, and we are going into 2023. So it's been some years that I have stood for my husband. What started off as just strictly marriage restoration, it changed, throughout this course of my journey standing for him, because I learned so much about myself. It was things that was hidden, brokenness that stems from rejection, abandonment, insecurity, immaturity, anger, hurt. Just, it was so much that needed to be unpacked. And I have to be honest, I would have never known that I was carrying those things had I not started this journey standing for my husband. See, we can think, and I said it before, that it's starting off one way. We thinking it's just specifically about them, but really it's about us. It's about the condition of our hearts. It's about the conditions of our mind. And from the beginning of my journey, I didn't see it like that, or wasn't speaking like that. But as God was moving on me, you could see in the previous videos how I was transforming into it being more about self. How even though we are standing for them, we have to stand for ourselves too. We have to do some self-reflection. We have to do some heart examinations. We have to get to the root issues of our heart, because a lot of times we don't know what is hidden, and we don't know what drives us to say the things we do, respond the way we do, behave the way that we do, because those things is hidden in our heart. For me, when God delivered me, he delivered me in 2018. And so me and my husband's marriage has kind of always been up in the air. As you guys know, I had thought one minute we was legal, next minute we wasn't, blah, blah, blah. Kind of was going back and forth. And I didn't get to say in the previous video that me and him both have called the county that we were married at to see about, the legalism of the marriage. And we didn't get the right answer. It is only by God, you guys, that when I came here to Georgia and I was just set in stone, okay, forget it. I'm not hearing from him. Let's just go ahead and end it. Calling. Remember, I was saying in the previous video about my license, and I wanted to hear them say when I called about our marriage certificate, to get a marriage certificate, or basically what I wanted them to do is give me a letter stating that, you know, I'm not married to him, so I could just go ahead and end it and go on about my business. But we all know that when I called them, the lady said that it was legal. Now think about it. All this time that me and him have called throughout the years, it did not happen. One thing I am going to say, God had to show me spiritually first what marriage meant, and to see how I handled myself when it came to the marriage spiritually. Then he revealed, when I was about to be like, I'm done, he revealed the legalism of it. I was like, okay, Abba, you going to, all this time, even my family, my kids was like, you know, everybody have always accepted the fact that, you know, I had got married, but we all was questioning the fact too about the legalism of it. But when I was standing, you know, since I've been standing, I'm like, forget about the legalism. Let's talk about the spiritualism. Let's talk about, you know, what it really mean to God, because that matters more than, again, you know, the paper. That's how I felt. That's how strong I was feeling about it. And I feel that way now. But it's funny, when I was ready and I just was like, I'm just going to be done and over with it, here our sweet Jesus come, and, you know, the lady revealed to me like, that is your husband. So that made me be like, wow, like this man is really mine. Like he's mine. You know, that's how I feel, like he's mine. Like he's mine. He's my responsibility. You know what I mean? As I was feeling spiritually and praying for him, but now legally he's mine. You know what I mean? And I know, you know, when I have, and I did, you guys, I had reached out to him even talking about a divorce. Like, you know, if I go get it and you're going to sign the paperwork and send it back. And he was like, yeah. God was like, no, I didn't tell you to do that. Your emotions told you to do that. And it is so amazing, again, how we can get carried away in the wrong emotions. Now, keep in mind, I was standing strong, you guys. Even, you know, I was standing strong for the longest, but I think after what went down with us this last time, how I felt I was treated, I allowed the enemy, I became subject to the enemy. I became subject to the hurt. I became subject to the depression. I became subject to questioning, you know, and even for a hot second blaming God, because I felt like it was unfair that I was, you know, going through what I was going through, not knowing that he was with me the whole time. Remember, I told you he was with me the whole time. And it was a beautiful lesson learning that again, no matter how jacked up, that it looks, God is still with us. You know what I mean? And the beautiful part is that we have a relationship with him, not contingent on the fact of if our marriage is going to be restored or not. It's us having a relationship to be restored completely back to him. Because when we are really restored completely back to him, no matter how much we twist and turn, no matter how much we try to, you know, deny, or no matter how much we say, okay, this is done, I'm done and over with, we are not going to be able to be turned loose of the truth. And remember, the truth is what set us free. And if you're walking in freedom, you know, you're going to continue to keep walking in freedom as long as you're allowing God to continue to move on your heart. So, this last time with him, because it was like previous times that we had caught ourselves trying to reconcile, and my husband had straight up said that he wasn't ready. I didn't know that until I got in his presence. And let me just say this for my love. He is my love. I love that man. I love him so much. I have loved him since I was a kid. I just didn't love myself. I was scared of the way previously of how he was trying to love me. I hurt my best friend. You know what I mean? Because I was hurting. I would have never, ever hurt my husband. I had no reason to do it. And because I hurt my husband the way that I did, he carried that for a long time. He didn't look at women the same. He didn't treat women the same. He had even told me it's because of me. He was not able to really fully give himself in love with another woman, which my rebuttal to that was, you wasn't supposed to, because it was supposed to be for me, anyway, and I'm saying this because I have came into knowing the truth. We weren't supposed to be loving anyone else. We were supposed to be loving each other. And so to hurt him the way I did, and for him to hold on to that pain, he would say to me, he loved the wife that I am now. He loved the person I am now. He would even say he saw this woman now back when we were kids. And even though he knew that, and even though, he may have even denied still loving me the way that he do, it was a wrestling game between him and the enemy. And I know how that goes. If a person haven't allowed God true access to their heart and mind, then the enemy is going to use any type of devices to come up against them and rob them of anything good. So just think about it. Me and my husband, we would talk on the phone like teenagers talking to the sun come up. We doing all of that, laughing, talking, just doing, I'm thinking being so open and honest with each other. And then when I come in his presence this last time, he turned on me. And the reason why he turned on me is because of the vision the enemy gave him to see me. The enemy was still in operation against him, and he wasn't honest about that. And I don't say this again to put my husband down. I love that man. I have so much respect for him, but let's just be real and transparent. The vision that he had was not the vision that God gave him. It was the vision that the enemy gave him. And this is why he was seeing me as the young girl that hurt him. He wasn't seeing me as the woman that I am now. Even though he can hear it, and even though my movements was that, but he would say he would reflect. It will always go back to old. And we already know the enemy don't have anything on us that's new. He always brings up the old, and that's what was happening to my husband. His vision was of old. So instead of him coming to me and we talk about it, he just act out and pushed me away. And again, like I told you guys, I couldn't understand it, because I thought, well, we talk all the time. Like, what changed? Like, I didn't even have the answers as to what changed. Like, what's going on? Like, what will make you, how can something feel so good and be so right turn into something that's wrong? That's how I felt. Like, what is up? But he wouldn't talk. And so, you're not talking to me. Well, I'm not going to stick around. And so when I left, and I come here to Georgia. Now, keep in mind, it was a whole year that I hadn't talked to my husband. I left the house that we had. I left it back in April of last year. I did not talk to my husband until May of this year. And I think sometimes when it's like quiet like that, that's the best time for you and God. Also, God got to continue to see your intentions, see if you're going to still love the unlovable, if you're still going to allow him to cleanse you and make you whole, if you're going to still walk in freedom, if you're going to still be obedient and honorable before him. I really believe it's our time with him. And a lot of times we try to push past that time because we want the outcome so bad. You know, we want our heart's desires to manifest so quickly. And I thank God that, again, that it didn't. You know what I mean? Like, I'm glad that my husband and I was apart the time in which, you know, we were this last time, because as I was diligently still praying for him before I left Georgia, but when I got to Georgia, I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't praying for him like that. I would pray for him, but occasionally, like, because I felt like I have prayed, I have cried, I have sent up petitions, I have fasted, I have, oh God, I feel like, you know, joining with other people in agreement, like making videos to encourage, you know, I felt like I'm just tired now, Lord. I'm done. Like, if, you know, he don't want to talk, he still want to conduct himself the way that he do, let it just be. But it didn't happen that way, as you guys know. It didn't happen that way at all. So when he randomly calls me out the blue and we pick up right where we left off, and I'm listening to him, and he was apologetic for the things in which he did. He said, I don't even know what caused me to call you. I do. It was the Holy Spirit. He said, I am the one that he know that would be there, that he can call and he can talk to, that he can rely on. And I always want to be that for him. I always want him to feel safe now and open, you know, to come and talk to me about anything, because it's about making each other better. It's about both of us being healthy and communicating in a healthy way. It's about us pouring love into each other. You know what I mean? Like, I know if my husband was walking with Christ truly, that the things that he did previously, he would have never done. And sometimes those things, they need to go through those things, even though it may hurt us, but they need to go through the things to see that, man, what is life without this person? You know what I mean? Like, I have no life. I'm tired. I don't want to continue to do this. I don't want to be with people that I got to really look over my shoulder at. I don't want to be with people who, you know, really it's not for me. Sometimes it is best to let them go so that they can see, so God can show them what they don't want. And I had told a sister that, you know, it's good sometimes for them to go out there, let them go out there and do it. Because no one can compare to a God-fearing, God-seeking, God-praising, God-worshiping, God-loving wife. No one can compare to that. I don't care if he had children previously with somebody. I don't care how many so-called females that try to come his way. They are not ever going to have anything on a wife that's walking with the Lord, period. So when he calls and he's apologizing and he's telling me, you know, all these things, what's so crazy is, I promise you, like, the things that I would be thinking about that I wanted to hear him say, I didn't even confess those things to God. Inwardly, I had those things, like I would think about those things. And the very things that I inwardly wanted him to say, he did. And I'm like, God, you are something else. Like, you know, because he know our thoughts, he know our heart. So he knew what my husband was going to say. And it just blessed me that he said it. Like, I am so grateful that he admitted, you know, that he was wrong and that he should have, you know, talked to me, but he didn't know how to handle the situation. You know, sometimes they don't. You know, sometimes they deal with shame and embarrassment too, because they know that you really are good and you are trying to be there for them and you good to them, but because they have been used to so many other people that haven't been right, they can categorize you in that light when they know that that's not really the truth. You know what I mean? Like they can kind of put you in a place like other people who have done them wrong, even though they can see that you're nothing like those people. And that's something that they have to work through, and that's something that, you know, my husband had to work through, that he had to see, like, you know, my wife have really been here for me. My wife really loves me. No matter how much I have pushed this girl away, she still comes at me and speaks to me in love. And he said to me, the way he see how I am with God is the way in which has made him want to be that way, you know, with God too. So it's very important of how we are conducting ourselves, because they will see Christ through us. If they see Christ through us and we're bitter and we're angry and we're confrontational and we this and we that, then we're not showing them anything different than the people that they had in the world. We're supposed to be set apart and look different. And I'm so glad that, you know, through it all, that he can see the difference. He can see who I really am. And I can see the man of God that he's becoming. And so we've been talking, you know, since May, every day, all the time. All the time. My love, he's something else. You guys. My baby, if he cannot find his wife, he's reaching out to his mother-in-law to find his wife. It just tickles me, because I'm just like, it's a long time coming, and again, he's just wonderful. He's just a wonderful person, and I miss that. Me and him were best friends before, you know, we became husband and wife when we were kids. And I miss that. I've missed my best friend that I could just be silly with and laugh and talk with. I've missed that so much. I've missed, you know, the conversations. You know, we have conversations about any and everything, you guys. And so it's just a blessing to me. And this last time, you know, because I was, you know, kind of like, Lord, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to be set up again. And the Lord said he's not going to do that. You know, I said that in a previous video. He said he's not going to do that again. And one of my beautiful sisters in Christ, she said that when I told her that, she said, no, he's not. You know, she was telling me she was praying for us and she's seen us together, and that my husband is not going to do that. And I don't feel like he's going to do that now either, because God has changed his heart. And that's another thing. The heart have to change. You know, the hardness of the heart have to become flesh in order for it to be changed. And I believe that God has changed my husband's heart to flesh, and he most definitely has changed his vision when it comes to me. Now, when I go and see him, this will be the first time we have seen each other since the reconciliation come next month, and I expect it to just be beautiful and wonderful, because we both are really wanting to be in each other's presence. We need that. We need to be able to sit, you know, with each other and talk and have that oneness, you know, with each other. And I'm gonna keep you guys posted when I go, so that you guys, hopefully, maybe he'll let me get him on video. He'll let me he'll say hi to you guys so that you can see him this time, you know. But it's been a long time coming, you guys. I promise you. It's been since, again, 2019. I feel like we still have, you know, we have a road, we have another journey to take. This is a journey together, you know. But I feel this time that we're not hiding anything, you know, like He's not hiding. I'm not hiding. We are being really open with each other, you know, because at first, you know, I would be hesitant to really express how I felt because I didn't want to seem like or feel like I can scare him off or, you know, like I was going to lose him. But now it's like, no, when you really get it in your heart that you are the prize, you really are, you are the crown to your husband's head. Like, and it's not in an arrogant type of way. It really is not. You know, you are the one that he needs. And he has let me know that he has felt my prayers, you know, even when we were apart. He told me this, like, he felt them. And I'm so glad that he did, that he would feel them because he was going through it. You know what I mean? And that's another thing. This is why I said, you guys, don't ever think again that it's just good with them, because it's not. My husband went through a lot of stuff, you know, and he had to come to a place where he's like, okay, hold up. This is on repeat. Like, I don't want to continue to keep going through this. This makes absolutely no sense of what I'm doing. I'm hurting myself. Why am I continuing to hurt myself and put myself, you know, out here in this world when I could be with my wife, you know, who loved me, my wife who's covering me. You know, she is the one that's continued to speak life into me and love into me. Why should I continue to put myself out here for people who's trying to take my life? They are a part of trying to take my life. You know, I want to be able to be a blessed man, and that's what he's striving for right now, being, you know, being a blessed man by God. And I thank God so much that he is, you know. So I'm trying to think of, is there anything else? I don't think there's anything else. But you guys can always go back and look at my previous videos of where I come from, you know, what I've endured, you know, and I pray that, you know, my life, my testimony will bless you. I always want to be relatable and effective. It don't matter to me about the likes and all that. I would want you to share, you know, maybe it can help someone else. I just want to be relatable to other people, to let people know that most definitely, as God is for you, no one can be against you. Don't be listening to other people, again, of what they say and what they think that you should do with your life. If God gave you a promise, hold on to that promise. You know, don't get discouraged in the wait, because it is going to be a wait. We have to understand that God is doing great things in us, as well as he's allowing them to go through too, because they got to come to him willingly. They got to bow before him and confess that he is God, because he is God and he deserves all the glory and all the praise. And no matter what it looks like, I don't care how much they try to make it seem like, you know, people out there that try to make it seem like the husband or wife try to make it seem like it's all good. No, it's not, because your prayers is shaking the atmosphere. As long as you continuing to uplift them in prayer, they ain't never going to have no peace, because they are not supposed to be out in the world anyway. You know what I mean? So you have to just continue to keep walking with God and continue to keep trusting that he knows what he is doing, and everything works out in its perfect timing. And it really, honestly, don't give up. If, again, God gave you that promise, he gave you a promise, he is going to see it through with that promise. But in the meantime, in between time, become a better you. It's about becoming healthy in our hearts and our minds and our bodies. That's what it's about, because unfortunately, it's people who have turned around and have went back in the world, and they're confessing the love for God and they love God, and I'm not going to say they don't, but I am going to say that love is of action. And if you're saying that you love God, then, you know, if they love God, they can't be loving the world and being in the world. And I thank God so much that no matter what I have gone through, that I have not turned back and gone back into the world, because he took that away from me. You know what I mean? It's about pleasing God no matter what. When you get a conscience for God, you are going to want to please him You are going to want to glorify him, for him to be glorified through your life. You are going to want to be obedient, period. No person on this earth should ever make us turn around and go back to the things in which God delivered us from. Nobody, no one should have that much power over us. And if we want to use them as an excuse, then be ready to deal with the consequences that come behind it, because God is not going to go for that. It's every man for themselves when it comes to eternal salvation. And this is what it's about. It's about snatching our loved ones back from the fire. It's about them falling in love with who we fell in love with, so that we can all have a beautiful love together. So with that being said, I thank you guys for watching. I hope, Cherie, that you were blessed by this. You guys can always leave in the comments if you want me to talk about a certain thing. If you want to know specific things, please don't be shy and just, ask. And I am so more than willing and open to make a video about it. I love you guys. I'm praying for you, and thank you for watching. Bye.